Good, happy Thursday morning, November 5th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's begin. First up, we begin with your COVID-19 updates. One more Granite Stater dies of COVID-19, 120 new cases reported. And now let's take a look at your coronavirus in New Hampshire important information. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 11,563 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 9,428,319 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 484 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 787 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 216 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And now let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. In Nashua, 70. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 1239. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In orange, new hospitalization. In red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalization. And let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In orange, total hospitalization, red deaths, and blue recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate and daily PCR tests. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. COVID-19 numbers point to second wave in New Hampshire, health officials say. Hospitals prepare for more patients. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Hey, Paul here, owner of Century Roofing. I personally wish to thank the thousands of our customers for supporting our team.
As the number of COVID-19 cases continue to rise, Granite State officials say New England is not immune to the trend.
We are on the second wave of infection in New Hampshire. We thankfully avoided the wave that happened over the summer.
According to state epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan, New Hampshire's average daily case count is higher than it's ever been.
Last week, from Monday through Sunday, we averaged probably about 130 infections per day.
An increase in community spread of the virus has not caught health workers in the Lakes region off guard. Belknap County just moved into the state dashboard's red zone of substantial community transmission. It joins Coos, Merrimack, Rockingham, Hillsborough, and Stratford counties.
Obviously, the first concern is that many people get gravely ill and they have to end up in the hospital.
In hopes of turning the tide, folks on the front line have increased efforts to educate folks on the importance of abiding by health protocols, recommending safe ways to gather in public, and increasing the administration of flu vaccines in the community.
We come together as communities. I'm always hearing inspiring stories of what people are doing, and I feel we have to cling to those because that's who we are.
And tonight, health officials are reminding us that we know how to prevent the spread, urging everyone to use use a mask, use good hygiene, and social distance whenever possible. Reporting live in Manchester, Mike Cherry, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire voters, Democrat for federal races, boost Republicans at state and local levels. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
Botanical Origin Laundry Essentials. Now plant-based meets performance. We harness nature's incredible cleaning power and its gentle.
This was a ballot for the ages. We know that when New Hampshire voters go into that booth and pull the curtain behind them, they can be notoriously discerning, but yesterday they truly outdid themselves. So at this point, New Hampshire's political insiders are still trying to sort this one out. Voters gave wins to all Democrats in the federal races, from the White House to Senate and Congress. But then they did a 180 and gave Governor Chris Sununu an epic landslide in the race for the corner office at the State House, and he brought along with him GOP majorities in the House, the Senate, and the Executive Council in Concord. And this is one of the more unique twists of the election here. Democrats tried very hard to tie Republicans, particularly Governor Sununu, to President Donald Trump. As everyone likely heard, Sununu was a, quote, Trump guy through and through. Those are his own words. But it turns out that swing voters here just weren't buying it. And while they apparently penalized Republican candidates for federal office for their ties to Trump, they absolved Sununu and all of the down-ballot Republicans. It's a political pirouette few would have predicted, let alone deemed possible just 48 hours ago. So what's the common denominator between the winners at the top of the ballot here, Biden, Sununu, and Shaheen? 2 words: empathy and familiarity. Biden, of course, is well known for his ability to connect one-on-one with voters, and we saw that time and again when he was here during the first-in-the-nation primary. People coming up to him with tears in their eyes to share a story of a loved one lost to cancer or some other personal struggle. It may not be to the same extent, but Sununu and Shaheen share a similar ability to connect. They also have the advantage of familiarity. Both of those names, Sununu and Shaheen, are well-established political name brands here in New Hampshire. In the age of COVID-19, voters clearly reached for the familiar on the ballot. So one of the bigger questions tonight, at least locally, is now what? That blue D.C. delegation and the red State House going to have very different approaches of how to get out of the pandemic. We'll see if everyone can get along.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire supporters of Trump, Biden on edge as votes continue to be counted. Legal challenges, recounts may be ahead. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
Election day has come and gone. There's no clear winner yet, but the debate over ballot counting appears to have just started.
They're counting the ballots that have been legally cast.
Guys, this is fraud. This is absolute fraud.
President Trump's campaign is suing in several states, including Pennsylvania, where his family spoke today.
And the Democrats know that the only way that they can win this election is to cheat in Pennsylvania. And we've seen it from day one. We found ballots in drainage ditches. They're not letting our poll watchers watch the polls. They're not letting them inside.
General Bondi and I will be here for the remainder until you all realize that President Trump has won this state. We have now officially declared the state of Pennsylvania Trump country until the last vote is counted.
Joe Biden supporters in New Hampshire say every legal ballot should be counted, and if he wins, that a peaceful transition of power is necessary.
I think Trump's Trump, and you knew what was going to happen if he lost or if he was on the verge of losing. And I think that's all come to pass. On the other hand, Biden has been straightforward, gentleman, a person who follows the rules.
The loudest voice on November 3rd was the people's voice, not Trump's voice. And let's let the people's voice move us forward.
With the Trump campaign filing legal challenges and recounts possible, it could be days or even longer until we have a final result. Reporting live, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pappas says he's ready to go back to work after winning second term. Election marks first time in decade that incumbent has been reelected in 1st District. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Andy Hirschberger.
We're here to declare victory for the people of New Hampshire.
It was the closest major race of the night in New Hampshire, and when it was over, incumbent Representative Chris Pappas was given a second term in the state's 1st congressional district.
I think Granite Staters voted in droves yesterday because they know this is an all-hands-on-deck moment for our state and for our country. And they deserve a congressman who will put the people of New Hampshire first.
The Republican challenger Matt Mowers says he's extremely proud of his race and his team. He says he gave a voice to people who were pushed to the side by Washington.
Well, look, the votes have now been counted, and, I was actually texting with Congressman Pappas. I wish him well. I hope on behalf of our state and our country that he does well and that the entire Congress does well.
Pappas says he's humbled to get another chance to continue his work in Congress, but he says that job won't be easy with the country deeply divided over leadership and the reality of a deadly and ever-growing virus.
I think we've got to meet this moment right now when our country is divided and realize that there aren't Democrat or Republican solutions to every issue of the day. And when it comes to this pandemic, we've got to be treating this as an American issue.
Mowers wouldn't talk much about his political future. He says he's going to get some rest and he's going to spend the holidays with his family. Pappas says that he is ready to go back to work right now and solve the problems that are facing the country. Reporting live, I'm Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.